Oh yes, we are live. Legends, how's everybody doing? Market dumping, finally, because we have been running to the upside for the last couple of weeks. Very, very bullish indeed. Guys, we're going to be taking a look at the levels, the technical analysis, but on higher time frame. It was about time. It was about time that we were to get some kind of corrective move. I mean, this is nothing too aggressive just yet. We're getting some people a little bit worried here in the comment section, guys. Let me know if you can hear me, if you can see me. I have to say, this is a level that we were waiting for since last week, right? Higher time frame, best level that was mentioned on previous live streams, okay? We can see how there was just a lot of confluence. We were looking at Fibonacci extensions, looking at the pivot lows, pivot highs from the last couple of months, August, September. We had the 1.618 extension from the latest move to the upside, 0.78, okay, round about the naked point of control that we were talking about last week. The level, the most important swing short level, because it is actually a swing short level that we were talking about last week on a few live streams, based on the amount of confluence that there was with Fibonacci extension, you know, very likely to be a few $100s without taking that high from July, getting the pullback. Well, I have to say that I did not jump into that short position. This happened at 3-4 o'clock in the morning while I was sleeping. I did have the alert set just to have, you know, just to see if I woke up to that level, and missed out on the short, legends, right? It's like unreal talking about it throughout last week. You know, hey, this is the level that will likely get the rejection before hitting that high from July at $70,000, and sleeping like a baby, the level being hit, and then the price, you know, correcting just over $2,000 in the last 24 hours. So anyway, I want to know in the comment section if you did manage to jump into that short trade that we were talking about throughout last week. There was a few live streams that we were talking about, guys, you know, pay attention to this level. Of course, weekend was relatively boring, slightly to the upside. And then just yesterday or early this morning, bang, we got the level hit 3 o'clock in the morning, my time. And I hope you did jump into that short position that was mentioned last week. Now, see, also about long positions, we need to see certain levels reclaimed. We did have a high volume node in this area, which was, you know, hey, maybe it could form another higher low, but it's about time to get some kind of deep pullback. So we're just very aware. Also with altcoins, I've been taking a look at some altcoins, some possible bullish scenarios, but also being aware of, hey, if Bitcoin drops, we ain't going to get that bullish scenario on the altcoins. Now, some altcoins are getting some pretty nice corrective moves to the downside. So overall, in this episode, we are in this live stream, we're going to be talking about the levels, okay, the importance of certain scenarios that could happen. Of course, the higher time frame scenario is, okay, guys, we basically at the value area high. Yes, the weekly candle has closed incredibly bullish. We do have the point of control from the entire range sitting here at the $67,000 level, right? Could this level maintain as support? We're going to get an epic bounce in the next coming hours. It is very much possible. We're going to be taking a look at levels of resistance and support, but on the lower time frames, right? Trading setups that could happen throughout today and tomorrow. Higher time frame, it's pretty clear. Yes, it's a higher time frame, you know, level of resistance. We've been talking about this zone, looking at the extension, right? Looking at, and I'm going to go through the comment section, guys, but it did make a lot of sense, right? We had the naked point of control right there at 69,550. We had the Fibonacci extension from the last, you know, 10 days momentum, right? We were saying, you know, this is just a beautiful, beautiful level. 1.618 most of the time gets respected and gets a pullback, right? We're taking a look at this wave right over here, and then the next wave, 1.618, exactly where we had that naked point of control from the 29th of July. So higher time frame, this is the kind of short position that you would want to maintain some of it open without a doubt, because this could be, you know, the local top and the price could correct down a few more $1,000s in the next coming days and weeks. Okay, it would be natural. It's something that needs to happen. We've been talking about this potential contracting diagonal throughout the last few weeks as well, right? As we did create this high, we formed a higher low. Okay, we're looking for this high to be claimed, get some resistance, you know, talking about the resistance zones here, round about the 69K zone. So if this were to be a contracting diagonal, right, leading diagonal, you would be expecting a kind of a three-wave structure to the downside. Very bearish indeed. We're going to be, you know, there's going to be fear coming in if we do get this kind of move, right? If we're looking at Elliott wave analysis, this could come all the way down to the 7/8 Fibonacci, right? That would be like, whoa, you know, that has been a massive pullback down to $64,000. By the way, for all of the bears, to get them a little bit of hopium, right? We do have a CME futures gap down there, right? A lot of people have been talking about this gap back in September, and price was just rallying consistently very, very nicely throughout the last few weeks. There is a gap down there where we have the 7/8 Fibonacci. So would it make sense to get a deep three-wave pullback all the way down there to the 7/8 at $54,000, fill the gap, extreme fear right there, and then start moving to the upside? Well, that's still very far away, right? We are not here to talk about higher time frame speculation, right? We are here to take action on the lower time frame, right? What are the levels that we do have close to us? What are the different scenarios of resistance and support where I could be looking for a trading setup? We're going to talk about that, guys. Higher time frame is very, very boring. We know that we're going to hit all-time high at some point, maybe in the next coming weeks or coming months. It's going to happen, all right, at some point. Or is the top in, right? The local top could be in without a doubt. We could be seeing some pretty sharp pullbacks where this is the moment where we go from greed to neutral and then to fear. We might even tap extreme fear. That is the moment that we want to start flipping bullish, okay? So right now it's been greed, a lot of bullish sentiment. This is it. We're going higher. And you just want to be a little bit cautious regarding those possible pullbacks that we could have throughout the next coming days and even couple of weeks, all right? But we'll be talking about the intraday scenarios, the levels that we are interested, guys. Of course, we are getting this aggressive pullback now throughout the last couple of hours, and we'll go through that right away, okay? Audio is glitching. Let's take a look at the audio right away. This is not good. The audio is glitching. What's going on with the audio? Let me double check here. Let me know if the audio is okay, guys, in the comment section. It should be okay. Let's say hello to the beautiful community right away. Missed out on that short. It happened at 3 o'clock in the morning. I hope some of you guys did jump into that short position because it was the short to get in. No, eventually with a nice move down of $1,000, take some profits, but leave some open. This is the kind of trade that, you know, you can protect. You can leave some open without a doubt because, yeah, this one could possibly bring some pretty decent pullbacks, that level that we were talking about throughout last week, guys. It's a swing trade level. Hang on a second. It's a swing trade level. So hopefully you are in that short position. Going to be talking about, you know, the speculation long positions as well that we did have, you know, today on the video update. All right, we'll be talking about that right away. It wasn't looking too good. We were looking at certain reclaims. All right, this was what we were talking about in the Legends trading community. We had a, you know, pretty nice high volume node that was getting a bit of a reaction, but we wanted the price to actually see a sign of strength and then, you know, possibly speculate the volume, bullish CVDs, you know, reclaim it. We lost the level. We were underneath the point of control. It wasn't looking too great for any type of long positions, and we finally got the leg to the downside. Pay attention, guys. Throughout the stream, we're going to be going specifically throughout the different scenarios. The price, you know, hey, this is waterfall. any longs here? Ooh, we want to be a little bit, cautious right now. We had all, last 10, 12 days to get into longs. We want to start looking into potential short positions without a doubt. I would say that this would be a shallow pullback to suddenly get a bounce and start breaking above 70K. It would be extremely rare. We're going to talk about the resistance points, the levels of support as well that we do have on the chart to speculate on certain reactions and different trading setups, okay? It's going to take some time. I'm going to be doing the explanations, try to make it, to have a bit of sense. But first of all, we're going through the comment section. I've got a bit of news that I want to point out as well. We're going to be taking a look at liquidity, some interesting news that is going on as well, but mainly focusing on the Bitcoin technical analysis. We only want 2 levels, 3 levels, maybe 3 different plans or setups, and just wait for the highest probability scenario to play out, like the level that we mentioned last week as well, okay? So let's first of all go through comment section legends, liked, smashed. I need to give a shout out to 𝗕𝗏𝗍 in the Legends trading community. He has been absolutely crushing it. 𝗖𝗿𝗆 was a good long setup that 𝗕𝗏𝗍 provided today in his live stream. In the Legends trading community, was looking for a breakout here of the trend to test the highs on 𝗖𝗆. And he mentioned this on the private live stream. Absolute legend, finally taking out the high, and it actually created a double top, right? Some altcoins, as Bitcoin was getting that rejection, we do have 𝗖𝗆𝗆, which actually double topped. 𝗖𝗆 coin created, it just hit the high, right? It did hit the high. It got the breakout, and it basically double topped. So apart from taking profit, it would actually been a good short opportunity, right? A nice double top short trade, and you're looking basically to take profit at the lows. So overall, very successful breakout, aiming for the high. It's just a classic, liquidity grab for anybody that is shorting very aggressively here. You're looking for the break of the trend, take profit at the highs, and just formed a classic double top right over here, which was actually very acceptable for a short position. We're going to go through Bitcoin, but first of all, hello to the community. Hello to the people in the comment section, guys. Make sure to destroy the like button. My like button is always lagging, guys. Always lagging. I don't know if I need to change something. Make sure to destroy the like button on your way in. 500 people watching. Make sure to destroy it, guys. We're going to be going very slowly into different scenarios, specific levels, okay, that we want to find out here with a blank chart, right? I have a nice blank chart so we can start from scratch, okay? So ready for some great TA. Thanks, Andy. MT, much love. Let's dump. Yes, guys, it was about time to get that dump. It was about time to that level. Extensions, everything pointed out that we were very likely not going to be taking that high just yet and getting that decent pullback like we have been doing. Jocasta, how are you doing? Hello, legend. Smash the like. 64 waiting and only 8 likes. Yes. 𝗕𝗏𝗆𝗽, I just burned my account trying to long. Shorted yesterday and got stopped out by a few dollars. I wasn't big. Yeah, we've been very, very cautious with any long positions in the Legends trading community. We were actually interested, shout out to 𝗖𝗆𝗆𝗽 as well, providing, also some scenarios. But what we did have here is, we wanted to see some reclaims. We want to see proof of support and actually, pretty decent bounce. And then maybe we would have speculated on a possible long, looking for another higher low. However, we just broke down from that point of control. It was also the 618 Fibonacci. It was just very, very poorly moving down very aggressively. We didn't see any proof of support. So, that basically just broke down in the end. So there's just no trade to be taken. We want to be very, very cautious when we have these slightly higher highs, slightly higher lows, this is the moment that you need to be very, very cautious. We don't want to be the last guys longing, okay? Matter of fact, we want to look for the perfect short trade, which was that level that was mentioned last week, right? The $69,500 1.618 extension, naked point of control, guys. You know, it's getting choppy. We have the contracting diagonal idea that is, also very much a possibility. And now, of course, the question is, are we going to lower levels, right? We've got some pretty decent volume to the downside. We'll be analyzing very, very carefully the levels of interest, all right? Signs of strength, levels that I would be interesting to look at the price action to see if I want to get into a trading setup, because it's all about creating the plans, right? Now it's a bit of a falling knife. You could arguably discuss that, hey, isn't this a very three-wavy move, right? What's going on here? Do we have any confluence? We're just getting a small reaction at 67K. We're going to start coming to the conclusion here with education, so you can understand, why the price is stopping here. Why is the price getting resistance here? So we're going to go in detail so you get the full education, guys. So anyway, 𝗕𝗫, I just burned the account. Yeah, we don't want to really long falling knives unless you have a very specific level that you can enter and you can have good risk management. This is the kind of, movements that burn accounts. If you like adding to position and stuff like that, you want to stay away from that type of trading, guys. I used to trade like that over 5 years ago. And I got wrecked. It was one of the only moments that I got wrecked. And I learned so much from getting wrecked like this back in 2019 when I was starting to be profitable. And I just wiped out 5 months worth of profit because of these kind of movements and just adding to position and trying to long the bottom falling knife. When we understand this price action, it's like, guys, it's going to happen at some point. Be very, very cautious with the longs. It has to be at specific levels. Maintain your stop loss at invalidation points, right? Where you do believe that the price has support. Because if not, you're going to start getting these aggressive moves down, okay? So anyway, we'll go through some different scenarios, all right? Very, very chilled. Some scenarios. Still trying to long with those few dollars I got left. Hey, I have to say, this is a bit of support, and 67K is getting a little bit of a reaction, okay? It is the point of control from the entire range since late February or early March, right? It's the highest volume node. This is where it's stopping, basically, right? So, if we do get that level right over here, right? And let's just mark that right now. And put it, I actually have it somewhere here, I think. Yeah, I'm sure I have it. But anyway, let's just put it here together. Point of control of range, right? Point of control of the range. This is where the price is just starting to stop right now. Eventually, it's the highest volume node from the last 6 months. So it has to do something, right? It has to do something, at least a stop, okay? And that is basically what it's doing, right? So when we do zoom in on the lower time frames, it's doing something a little bit with the choppiness. You got a bit of local, internal, double bottom scenarios, right? Which is, it's trying to hold. It's trying to hold this point of control from the entire range. So it is stopping ever so slightly. It's still very much downtrending, right? Still very aggressive downtrend, but it's getting some kind of reaction, as we can see here on the chart, right? So it's an aggressive long, I have to say. At least the price is stopping throughout the last couple of hours. At least it's stopping. And if you're attempting a long here, you would want to just try and catch the double bottoms, right? And be extremely defensive with stop loss. Be extremely defensive. Could it create a triple bottom? Could it break down? This is the risk that there is when the price is just downtrending. Catching bottoms, you get the deal, right? You can have very smelly fingers. So you want to be very, very selective. Just look for the, double bottom scenarios. But, you know, I wouldn't risk it. I would prefer a nice range to be formed. And then we got some certain levels, certain lows, certain highs, you know, levels of confluence from previous day, such as the previous day point of control, value area high. That's much better for me, right? That's much better than, you know, trying to, oh, you know, is it going to bottom? Is this going to hold? It's been too aggressive to the downside right now. Of course, it could get a bounce, but yeah, we're going to talk about other scenarios that, you know, have higher probability. So anyway, Jocasta, protect your position with the stop loss, says Jocasta. Yes, I got stop loss. We're going to zero. We're going to zero type of comments. This is still early, still soon. I want to see those kind of comments when we, you know, start moving down to 62K or 59K. You know, then I want those comments. Anyway, let's go. Continue. Aditya, my man, much love to you, brother. Let's take a look here. Amanza is saying 66,941 is the weekly naked point of control. 66,941. So when we go to the weekly time frame, potentially depending on what exchange you are looking at here, we're going to start getting some levels here on the chart slowly, all right, to get a plan, right? It's all about creating a plan, because someone here in the comment section said, I'm trying to long this, I'm trying to get into the long. Make sure to have your strategy, okay? Make sure to have the strategy. We're moving down very aggressively still. It's still a very shallow pullback compared to last week, right? It's still a shallow pullback. We could go down a little bit more, right? In my opinion. So anyway, taking a look here at the weekly candlestick right over here and analyze. I mean, on Bybit, we do have the weekly naked point of control is at 67,800. At least right over here. Maybe on some other exchanges, you got a higher volume node, potentially on Coinbase or on Binance. But we'll be analyzing some different levels here throughout the live stream. Okay. For the moment, breaking down, we did have a daily level right over here. Daily level, not doing much. Daily level, have to say, not doing much. It broke down very, very aggressively. Price moving down. We'll be analyzing some different scenarios, okay, right away. Just going to quickly go through the comment section and we'll be doing the technical analysis. Right, Singularity, we got a super chat. I want to go on Bitcoin. Guys, super chat with altcoins. Anyway, let's take a quick look at THETA here for Singularity X because of the super chat. Go on, let's go right away. Andy, I'm in a long on THETA. That is, well, Devil also very, very good with the breakouts on altcoins. Also talked about a long position, very, very successful long position. Can you please check THETA? Let's take a look at THETA, guys, and then we'll focus on Bitcoin. Let's take a look at this altcoin here for Singularity X right away, and you know, just basically analyze the local situation here for THETA. Zooming out, you're in a long position on THETA. I am not sure from what levels. Okay, I can see that you I'm doing very well, BTC boss. Looking at 15K is impossible now. Yeah, I wouldn't say $15,000 Bitcoin is going to happen. I'm actually in doubt of the low 50Ks, right? There's a lot of support. There's a lot of different scenarios that we'll be explaining now throughout the stream. But let's take a look at THETA here for my man Singularity X very, very quickly. I have to say, this is a bit of a trappy breakout, right? This is the classic trap break here, the neckline for an inverted head and shoulder. And you basically, this is, you know, the main reason why we're getting this drop, guys, is based on these breakout traders. You can clearly see an, you know, easy textbook inverted head and shoulder. No daily candle closes above the neckline, just a bunch of choppiness. This is a classic trap, okay? It's a classic trap right over there. Look at the wicks here on the daily above these highs, above the neckline. No business here at all. If anything, even, you know, a possible speculation short. But when you're trading at this zone, this is like moon mission, guys. Inverted head and shoulder. This is it. Altcoins are going to absolutely rip, even though I do believe that altcoins will rip eventually in the next coming months, but more leaning into Q1 of 2025 or to the very end of the year. It's going to slow. We're going to see some altcoins popping eventually. We've even seen some altcoins popping very, very much, such as 𝗬𝗍𝗿. 𝗬𝗍𝗿 did a incredible pump throughout the last 1 to 2 days. But THETA, I have to give a shout out here to 𝗬𝗍𝗆. Very, very successful trade throughout the last few days, talking about breakout and testing the highs right over here. Playing out very, very nicely. But the highs is your take profit zone. The higher time frame highs is your take profit zone, or even the ones that you're speculating here on this kind of bearish flag, right? You got a bearish flag, you got the breakout, your take profit one is the higher time frame high no matter what. Of course, if you break out successfully, then yeah, you maintain that long open. If you lose the high and it doesn't break out successfully, you want to start getting the heck out, right? You want to start getting out. It's not breaking above the highs. If you're any long positions from lower, it's like, yeah, I want to get out most of my position. I'll leave 20% open or so just in case it forms a higher low. But the whole thing about this is you tested the higher time frame high, inverted head and shoulder, fake out, right? It's just not breaking out. And that's where we have danger. This is dangerous. Without a doubt, it's dangerous. And it all depends on Bitcoin. It all depends on Bitcoin. We'll be talking about some possible levels of support, but we really need to focus on what Bitcoin is doing as well. For the moment, still dropping, testing lows. It's just still in initial stages of potential continuation to the downside. So what happens when Bitcoin gets the drop? No matter how bullish some altcoins look, for a breakout of an inverted head and shoulder or an ascending triangle, if you wish, it's just going to fake out. It's just going to fake out. It's going to be a liquidity grab. It's going to be a bullish trap, especially when, I was just so aware on some altcoins. We needed some confirmations on breakouts and just looking at Bitcoin, guys, we want to be careful with some altcoins, mainly lower time frames, just to get in and get out. Look for scalps. If it is a bullish move on the lower time frame and it makes a 4-5% move, get in, get out, because Bitcoin is ready for a pullback. It is just ready with this momentum. Look at these poor higher highs and higher lows. It's like we ain't getting these big moves like we did, right? Just in the last 1 to 2 weeks, right? Nice big move, nice corrective move, nice move to the upside. And then since last week, it was, slightly higher highs and slightly higher lows. It's the moment to just be aware, especially when you're trading altcoins. They look very bullish. You're getting altcoins popping. You're going to get that greed sentiment that I'm missing out on the altcoins. I prefer altcoins to have on spot, right? I've actually been buying a few altcoins throughout the last week, but they're for spot. They're like, I'm very much aware of Bitcoin correcting and altcoins dumping, but this is like for the next several months, right? I'm talking about, maybe 6 months, maybe 9 months. I know they're gonna, they're gonna go. I'm gonna be holding some negative bags that I've been buying, but it's a long-term thing. It's unrealized profit. So once it's realized, then we'll start collecting some profit. So regarding trading these altcoins, Bitcoin's dumping. It's still a very shallow dump. This could still continue very much to lower levels, and we'll be talking about specific Fibonacci levels, extensions, and levels where the price could find some support on the higher time frame. Right now, it's just like, this has only just gotten started, and we haven't got much. We've got a lot of higher lows to be claimed. The Bitcoin could go to lower levels, right? From that rejection of 69,500. I hope some people did manage to get into that short trade at 69,500, 1.618 extension, the naked point of control from the 29th of July. it was just the kind of the perfect level, right? The perfect level. And we very much know that Bitcoin does this a lot of the times, where you are just a few $100s from taking out that high. And most of the people, including myself, I'm not saying, not me, but we know that was a very, very possible rejection. Most of the people are going to believe that we're just so close in hitting $70,000 that we're just going to take it, right? It's just going to be taken. It's going to be taken, and we're going to get that, breakout above it, which did not happen. We got the rejection from that specific level, all right, that we mentioned throughout last week with the extensions, right? And with the naked point of control, very, very likely level to get the rejection. So anyway, going back to THETA here, for my man Singularity X, look, it's not looking extremely great. I have to say, it's not looking extremely great. It really depends on Bitcoin. Bitcoin needs to find proof of support. We'll be analyzing Bitcoin to see where it could, higher time frame, find some support and get some initial bounces, to then speculate, okay, if Bitcoin gets the bounce, then altcoins could maintain their ground and get the bounce. As long as Bitcoin is moving down, well, it's going to drag those altcoins, right? No matter how bullish it looks. So this is why, we got this choppiness, very, very trappy zone, nothing too solid, no major daily candle above that neckline. So taking a look at THETA, it does look like we're just testing this kind of order block, which is getting a small little reaction right over here. Right, we've got a bit of that order block right there. Swing failure pattern from this higher time frame, higher low. It's getting a bit of a reaction. This could be the level where it could get a bit of a bounce, without a doubt. But yeah, taking a look at the waves, right? Let's take a look at this extension. 1 to 1, 1, 2, 3, 6 at the highs, and now rejection. Let's go to the lower time frames. And I mean, if we want to do some proper analysis here on THETA, we're going to have to start going to the daily chart, naked point of controls, and just start analyzing the waves very, very carefully here. We got a weekly level down here, which is, I like that level. I like that level. That's a level, okay? I would be cautious. I'm not sure where you're longing from, Singularity X, because, I mean, if you're longing from higher, wow, it's just, I'm gonna create a trading plan here, and what you want to do is just set some alerts. But I like that weekly level. I like this weekly level here on THETA, and yeah, that weekly level is just sweeping up those higher lows. It just looks like the perfect trade. We love highs and lows from higher time frame to be swept. I mean, there is a slightly higher time frame, higher low. We are getting this reaction right now from this low. I mean, it could get a pretty significant bounce from here throughout the next 24 hours. You're just testing that higher low. Let's take a look at some fib levels. But depending on where your long is, I would be cautious with this bounce. Okay, you're just testing that higher low, that order block. With this bounce, I would be cautious. I have no idea where your long is. I have no idea where your long is. You were not specific. I'm long from 1.17. Okay, so you're long from much lower. Oh, you're in a swing trade, my man. You're in a swing trade position. Are you? Oh my goodness. You're in a long position based on this double bottom right over here that was formed back, just a few weeks ago. Absolutely epic. I think you're still pretty good. You're still pretty good. Eventually, I would have been taking some profits here at the highs. I assume that you're going to be defensive. You're very much in a good position. I thought you were in a long and you were underwater, or you're long from higher, sorry. But yeah, what I would be looking at here, I think you're pretty good still. You're pretty good. Looking at higher time frame, it would make sense for THETA to, there's eventually the bearish case scenario looking at THETA here. you have this movement to the downside from the pivot low that we created on the 5th of August. You got a 3-wave structure here, creating a failed auction. That's, would have been the epic short for a swing short speculation, without a doubt. And obviously looking for long positions here as you're looking for a higher low. So for the, swing traders like yourself, right, if you're in a long position from down here, that the bearish case is that you're forming a bearish flag, right? You've got an ABC corrective move, and this is the first initial wave to continue to the downside, which I don't think would be the case. And then you have the bullish case scenario, which would be the contracting diagonal, right? Where you have this, right? And this, and you're looking at, this possibility. I do see the chance of it coming all the way up here in the next coming weeks at $1.55. The highs here created on September. I mean, this is higher time frame perspective eventually. So zooming in, smaller reaction from this higher low. Just happened here throughout the last hour. Nice bounce. We just, basically classic liquidity grab from a higher time frame, higher low. We're already getting a pretty nice bounce of a few percentage here. 1% bounce right now on theta as we swept these lows, which does make sense. Does make sense eventually. Let's take a look at some Fibonacci levels. 50%. Fibonacci 618 is slightly below from this pivot created on Sunday. From this pivot low created on last Thursday, it's the 382 Fibonacci. So yeah, zooming out ever so slightly here on the 15-minute time frame, it made sense for this bounce without a doubt. You had this higher time frame, higher low, 0.382. Sweep of liquidity beneath that low and getting that bounce now initially. I would be cautious because I think this bounce could form a lower high. You got that massive consolidation that we've had throughout the last 24 hours. Would be a little bit cautious here for a lower high and another leg down. But I would form this, I would be getting ready for this higher time frame swing long position that could possibly happen. And that is coming all the way down to sweep up this low over here with the golden pocket from this movement, weekly level and higher low support. This is the golden ticket for a swing long. And I think obviously as we are in uptrend momentum, I would maintain, I think your long is still good, very much. Okay. So anyway, we're going to focus on Bitcoin, guys. That's it. Just an overview on theta. We'll be zooming into Bitcoin right now, taking a look at the most important levels, the most important different scenarios, and try and analyze, what the heck is going on. Are we going to hold from here? It's getting choppy. We're just testing the lows. We're going to talk about a sign of strength as well. And we're going to talk about the initial waves that have happened throughout the last few hours, right? What the heck is this? Is this an ABC? We're going to absolutely move from here. Or, we're going to talk about the, levels of invalidation, for the bearish case. And obviously the sign of strength for the bulls. And also taking a look at some, internal levels of support. What levels do we need to break as resistance to start looking at the bullish case scenario? So, Aditya, join the Legends trading community. 206 likes. Let's go, Legends. Absolutely wonderful. We got the like button going up. 𝗖𝗿𝘆𝗽𝗫, you're very much welcome. Came here for Bitcoin, too much talking about alts on chat. Yeah, I know. Yeah, we're going to focus. We mainly do Bitcoin, but just because of the super chat of 𝗖𝗿𝘆𝗽𝗫, we're going to focus on Bitcoin, okay? Specifically on lower time frames, levels that we are interested in on the lower time frames, right? Because we, as a day trader, I'm interested in a day trade scenario, right? Or a scalp. So we're going to talk about it right now. Yes, higher time frame. We get the deal, right? We've had 5 waves. We've got the contracting diagonal. We do have that naked point of control. We know that there's a lot of resistance. Something that is bullish on the higher time frame is we've closed a higher high weekly level. Okay. This looks pretty good on the higher time frame, right? We've got the weekly closes here with the lower highs, weekly closes, right? Forming lower highs. We've got a nice weekly close yesterday, forming a higher high right there. This is actually pretty damn good. Pretty damn good. Even though the price comes down to, you know, the mid 50s. This is still very, very good for that reversal, okay? For all-time highs to be hit at some point in the next coming months or coming weeks potentially. So, you know, just something to point out here on the higher time frame. You know, that is actually pretty good. So let's focus right now. Because I'm sorry guys, we're going to be talking about bearish scenarios. I think this would be a shallow pullback to suddenly pop and go to $70,000 plus, right? I have to stay real here and say, guys, you know, it might be a little bit bearish for a few days and maybe even a few weeks. Be cautious with these bounces, okay? Because this is the, you know, kind of the initial stages of a potential larger corrective move. Just to be aware, guys, all right? And we're going to be talking about the, you know, different levels. So understanding the market structure, first of all, right? Keeping it simple, education, right? Market structure that's happened throughout the last couple of weeks. Very nice indeed. Higher highs and higher lows, higher high, lower low suddenly with this move. You know, we have confirmed the lower low. It's, you know, now we're starting to be a little bit aware. Now we start to be a little bit aware and look for the different scenarios. And we're going to talk about them right away. So we have broken down from this base that we have had throughout the weekend, right? We've got that base that has been broken to the downside. Now, as the price moves in waves, and this is something that we need to take into consideration. We've been talking about this now for several weeks about the contracting diagonal, right? We've had 3 waves here, 3 waves here, 3 waves here, 3 waves here, and now we've had this, you know, 3 wave with the 1.618 extension. You can count a higher time frame 3 wave move to the upside that we were basically talking about last week, right? Stay cautious with the 1.618 extension. It could be the local top for Bitcoin. We're looking for that 3rd wave, right? Of course, you can micro count many waves here, right, on the lower time frames, right? Looking at this possible ABC move, and I was very much supporting the possibility of this being the 3 waver, right? The ABC right there, hitting the 1.618 extension. But hey, it was a perfect touch. It was a perfect touch, guys. This 1.618 extension that we've been, you know, talking about the level last week. It's, you know, look at this. You know, it was just an absolutely beautiful touch. So now the point, you know, the whole conclusion, guys, is just so it makes sense. Is like we formed 3 waves here, 3 waves here, 3 waves here, 3 waves here, and now this 3 wave extension on that possible 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now it's like, okay, so if we've formed 5 waves to the upside, if we have formed and the market moves in 5 waves or 3 waves, right? Whether it be an impulsive, contracting, expanding, whatever, it moves in 3 waves, in 5 waves or 3 waves, and we have 5 waves here from the low of the 5th of August, because this is the low of the range. You know, we could possibly and likely be going to lower levels for a corrective structure. I mean, this is not bearish to go down to 30k, right? I don't want any of that nonsense. You know, this is for a internal corrective structure, a little bit of a cool off. And now what we need to understand is what has happened today, right? Because, you know, when we do analysis, we need to understand the next move, right? What's the next move done, right? The next move has done this. Okay, well, let's just zoom in. We do know that we've hit the 1.618 extension from this low to this high to this low right over here. 1.618. We got a possible 5-wave move up. You could arguably discuss that all of this as well has been part of the C wave, right? And this ABC. And now this movement down, breaking the structure. So I want to understand a little bit of the levels and the extensions. And I'm going to talk about the levels, the strongest levels of support and the strongest levels of resistance. Because, that's the conclusion that we come into, right? And that's what we're going to talk about. We're trying to figuring out as analysts, right? We try and look for, okay, if we've done this, then couldn't we do this then later, right? What is the extension? What are the levels of resistance, support? You kind of figure out the trading plan that you want to get into, right? This is what we're trying to do throughout this stream, right? With this leg down. So, we understand that higher time frame scenario. 1.618 extension, we've got 5 waves, contracting diagonal, we've got a breakdown. It could be the initial stages of going to lower levels. So, okay, what if the price, right, gets a bounce at some point, right? It's still very choppy. It still could just continue rolling down. There's still no real range. There's still no real proof of support. So we need to wait for that kind of bounce. Period, right? We just need to wait for that kind of bounce, or look at specific sniper long levels, which we're going to figure out right now, okay, in just 1 second. But let's talk about the levels of resistance, right? We got this movement down, right? And now just looking at this, we can see the highs created here on Monday, right? Today. Because this is the 5-minute time frame, right? It's not the higher time frame. So we got this leg down on the lower time frames. We got then this bounce in a 3-wavy structure, and I have to give a shout out to Devil because he did get into a short position here on this bounce, because we were forming bearish CVD divergence as well. We were actually kind of back testing the highs here that we formed on Friday. Kind of a bit of a choppy back test. But it was a pretty sharp corrective move with some volume. You got a 3-wave move to the upside, remaining patient, right? You got some bearish CVD divergence right over here locally, right? When we do analyze this scenario, I mean, all of these things you add up to come to the conclusion of, okay, wow, okay, it's probably going to top out here and it's going to move to the downside, at least to test these lows, right? Just to point out, guys, a little bit of what's happened and, what Devil has been doing, because Devil's been absolutely nailing, the different altcoins and scenarios. And, basically the shorts, just to give you that education perspective, is, of course, after this leg to the downside, you got that 3-wave move up, and you have been forming the lower highs on the price action from the highs, above $69,000. And you have been forming some higher highs here on the CVD right there from this pivot, right? Creating that, hey, there's people long in here wanting to hit the highs again. Bearish CVD divergence. You got retail longing right there. This bounce after this major, pretty decent move to the downside. And of course, when you zoom out and you use a little bit of the levels and the technicals, you realize, okay, bearish CVD divergence, a pretty nice rejection from here. Lower high, a 3-wave structure, much more corrective than this aggressive move down. You kind of back testing the Friday highs. Bearish CVD divergence, 1.618 almost been hit, right? Well, yeah, basically being hit right there, the golden pocket. Bearish CVDs, short down to the lows. At least, I mean, this is a day trade. Of course, if you want to leave some open, right, then eventually you got this next move to the downside. But overall, it was looking for that low to be hit. So now coming to this conclusion, right, we got a major move. I need to see this as a possible third wave. I need to see this as a possible third wave on looking at the 5-minute time frame. This is still incredibly impulsive. We haven't got any big major pullbacks. Okay, very, very shallow. This is still part of a big major move to the downside, and I have to come to the conclusion that it's still a third wave. It's still part of the lower time frame third wave. What do I mean by this? Well, I mean that it does look pretty impulsive. It still does look pretty impulsive regarding the waves. I wouldn't say that this is an ABC move and we're going to bounce now and, you know, create a massive move to the upside in between today and tomorrow. It just wouldn't make sense, right? It just looked pretty aggressive. So I have to believe that, you know, we're probably going to be forming this downtrend throughout the next coming days, just understanding the, you know, the break of the market structure. It just looks a little bit more bearish. So we could be a little bit bearish for a few days, guys, you know, if not a couple of weeks maybe. So now we need to understand, where is this third wave going to bottom, right? It's like, you know, Bitcoin, what's going on? It's still just dropping. So we need to be remaining patient unless we come to the conclusion of certain levels, okay, where we do have a high volume node, we have, you know, a weekly level, a daily level, we have a sweep of some lows, you know, for higher time frame Fibonacci. We'll come to the conclusion right now for like an aggressive scalp level, okay, where it could bounce. But right now in this area, I think not. It's still rolling down, okay, and I would be more interested in a possible short. So, okay, this movement to the downside, you know, taking a look at the extension, we're well past the 1.618, well past the 1.618. They did get a quick reaction bounce, 1.618 from this move. Quick bounce of a few $100. It was around about $300 bounce, exactly at the 1.618. The 2 to 1 kind of choppiness, yes. Now, 2.618, $66,718. That is interesting. Third waves, yeah, they can go to the 3.618 even easily, right? Third waves can be insane. So, yeah, now, then, you know, we've got the 2.618 that we're just a couple of $100 away from. We're getting a bit of a, you know, still moving down. Interesting. Very interesting. Maybe this could be the bottom. If this were not to be the bottom and we suddenly get a bounce, we'll be talking about some fib levels and some, you know, a speculation for a fourth wave and then get the leg down in a fifth wave to claim that low. Okay, so, you know, we're building up an idea here. So, you know, bear with me, guys. You know, this is keeping it educational, just going from scratch regarding, you know, Fibonacci and, you know, a bit of Elliott wave theory. We'll be coming to the conclusion of, you know, is the 2.618 a good level, right? We're going to zoom out, right? 1.618, it got a little bounce. 2 to 1, yeah, still very choppy. Taking a look at this move, I mean, the next one is the 2.618, which is $66,700, right? Give or take a few dollars, depending on what exchange you're looking at it. We got a higher time frame, higher low. This higher low is interesting. You know, why would it be interesting? Well, you know, you got the 2.618. You know, it would make sense to actually the price create a swing failure pattern from that low because it's the 2.618 extension. So it's kind of a bit of an aggressive scalp, but there's only one way to how to trade this, guys. You hit the level, you know, the aggressive trade setup is you hit it, you get above it, you snipe along, and you are very defensive with your capital. None of that adding to position. We're going to bounce at some point. We got somebody in the comment section actually saying, I've been trying to long and I've, you know, burnt the account. So somebody actually saying this in the comment section. You know, you don't want to do any of that when you're kind of breaking down, you know, from a support level. So first of all, the closest level that we do have here, we might get this live on the stream, is this higher low. This higher low is where we have, you know, very close to 2.618 extension from this leg to the downside. So it would make sense for this to actually get a reaction bounce. Preferably we sweep up those lows. It's slightly below the 2.618, but it would be even better. So we got the 2.618 there. Do we have any other levels of confluence to believe that this is just not going to waterfall, right? Do we have any more kind of support where we got two pivots where we can take a look at the Fibonacci retracement? I wouldn't count this one personally. I wouldn't count this one. I would count this one and this one. So will we have the 236 or the 382 round about this area? Well, that's what we're going to figure out right now, right? So, just adding a bit of Fibonacci confluence for the moment. Then we go through, high volume nodes and rest of it. So let's go off with this higher low right over here to the high created. Oh, you wouldn't believe it. We actually got the 382 Fibonacci from this pivot low. From this pivot low to the high created today at 69,500. It's the 382 Fibonacci where we have this higher low. So this is going to be an interesting zone where I do think it can get choppy. It can be difficult. It's, I'm going to explain exactly how I would execute this zone. We might get it live on the stream, and we might even, do that live trading, because I missed the short position, guys, because it happened around about 3-4 o'clock in the morning. I was asleep, guys. I hope some of you did manage to get into that short position that was mentioned last week, right? The higher time frame kind of swing short. And I'm not a guy that leaves limit orders, and then goes to sleep. It's just I don't do that. I would rather try and put the alarm, and if I do wake up, I'll take the trade. If I don't, screw the trade, right? But we got that, really nice move of over $2,000 right now. So anyway, going back here to the, looking at the confluence, guys, there is some stuff going on here. This is a low that it might get a wick, and it might get an instant bounce, right? This may be the level where it gets actually a bounce. So you might be believing right now, well, why not short to that level? Well, we just don't know if the price is going to bounce from here, right? This is the danger of shorting here. Unless you're getting into scalps with bearish CVD divergence and you're just targeting the lows, just be aware that at some point you're going to get that little bit more of a dead cat bounce, right? You're going to get that relief rally at some point, and you just want to be cautious. This is why I like kind of shorting here very close to the lows. There is some danger to that unless you like very aggressively managing risk. So let's just zoom out on the 15-minute again, and just count the amount of confluence that we do have here, right? We're kind of aligning the planets here to see, I like the level, right? We're trying to align the planets to see, is this level worth it? Will this level be worth it? For the moment, from this pivot low that we formed on the 13th of October to the high, and we're just a few $100s away, guys. This might be very, very quick, so we want to be, I want to be, still analyzing this, because we might get a live, quick scalp long, just to jump in onto that execution. We've got 382. We've got the lows right there. I like it, obviously. Lows for a liquidity grab, they're always good. They're always good. And if you're going to add some confluence, even better. The 382, we got 2.618 extension, right? It's pretty clear, the waves, right? We got some really clear waves here. We got the initial one from the rejection today. We got this bounce. And this is still part of a wave, in my opinion, right? This would be a very, very shallow, and it's not a third wave, and this is a fifth wave. It just wouldn't make sense. This is still part of the third wave, just because of the very shallow pullback. And there's, of course, this will not be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It will be like, massive fifth wave. Of course, it could happen, but it would be rare, right? And I think we just retraced to the 236 fib, right? Let me just double check here. Yeah, not even the 382. So you could still consider part of the third wave, just because the pullback has been very, very shallow for that fourth wave, and this would be too extensive for the fifth wave, so it wouldn't make sense, right, doing the micro count. So you would say, okay, it's still part of the third wave. So still believing, right? Okay, well, I believe we're still possibly inside of the third wave. If we did not get a successful bounce from the 1.618, I would expect the 2.618 very possibly to get the reaction bounce, right? To possibly create that fourth wave. And then we're going to be talking about possible targets eventually. So it's beautiful. It's with this higher low. It's classic for a liquidity grab, right? Get that wick, right? And then get the initial bounce. and then maybe roll back down and go to lower levels, or could just get an epic bounce. We just don't know, right? But we know that could be the level of the reaction. So we got a plan here. So I like the higher low. It's the 382 as well. It's the 2.618 of this possible wave down. This could happen very fast, guys. Okay, but we just come in, I'm doing the analysis here with you on the live. Let's take a look at the pivot low. I'm interested to say, will we have the 236 right there? Possibly yes. The low here from the 10th of October to the pivot high, we are just hitting the 236. We've been hitting it. So the 236 is actually slightly above. It is slightly above. It's getting a bit of a, it's basically where we at. So 236 on its own, yeah, no bueno. So I mean, I like this. It's enough for me to say, all right, this is pretty decent. That higher low. There's looking at Fibonacci retracement, we haven't got more higher lows. I wouldn't say that this is a good higher low to take a look at Fibonacci to the high. You have the golden pocket from that pivot, right? It's a higher time frame, higher low right there. From this higher low where we had that volatility back on last Tuesday, the 15th of October, we got a massive wick up, massive move down. I actually catched that short position. It was the 0.88 fib from higher time frame. We're at a very, very specific level to jump in on basically fighting the trend. But from this pivot to the pivot high, the golden pocket is there. So, yeah, you could say, all right, it's a higher time frame, higher low to take a look at Fibonacci to the highs created today. And, it's the golden pocket where we have the 382 from this pivot to the pivot high. We got the 2618 extension from the initial waves. We got the higher lows. Could be that liquidity grab in that instant bounce of a few $100s. Great, I like it. It's good. It's a good scalp attempt. You need to be aggressive. You need to manage risk without a doubt, because that level will not be easy. It's not going to be easy. We might get this in the next coming minutes because price is just rolling down, still continue to roll down, and it does look like it's going to be hit, right? Looks like that it will be hit in the next hour or two. So it's the interest zone. I prefer, okay, and we're going to take a look at different levels right now, okay? Just 1 second. Let's add as much confluence just to be confident that that level is pretty solid. And hey, if there is no, has to be clear as well. If there's no reaction and the price just, does this, well, there's just no long to be taken. There's no adding to position. We should bounce at some point. We don't know if it's going to bounce, right? We got the plan, which is sweeping up that low and then eventually checking the reaction, getting above it. Sniper, managing risk. If you get that 2-3 to 1 risk to reward, be happy. Be happy indeed. So, yeah, I like the level. We're creating the plan here together on the live stream, guys. It's all about creating those plans, just like we created the plan last week with that $69,500 range. And we explained in detail how you want to, that level to be hit, right? It was at 1.618. It was the naked point of control. You tap it, you get above it, you get below it, and it was just a perfect tap, guys. Sniper, stop loss. Look at the risk to reward right now. Absolutely insane. Absolutely insane. So anyway, let's zoom out and still figure out, okay, what if this level doesn't hold, right? I want to add some more scenarios. I haven't got a naked point of control at that level. I mean, this one right over here is an old one. Oh, that's the point of control of the range. Do we have any daily levels, right? Do we have any daily, weekly? The daily was broken, the one that we had slightly above us. No weekly, no monthly, no nada. So let's take a look at the previous week and previous month levels, right? So let's just go to the weekly chart. Previous week, very, very far away from the lows and the highs. So we're not interested. I need to reset my previous week levels. Because we eventually had the close yesterday, so I need to reset them. which I'll do, but we're very far away. Massive big weekly candle. So previous month levels. Yeah, what is interesting is previous month, okay? Previous month highs is at $66,500. So, hey, we got previous month highs. We go to the monthly chart, right? It's always good to have the previous month close or the previous month low, right? And previous month highs is right over here, guys. You can see it. 66,500, slightly above. Previous month highs right over here. That previous month high wick is slightly below kind of our interest zone that we are talking about here on the stream. It is slightly below. I think it would be a possibility to trade the previous month high, speculating on a possible swing failure pattern, right? From that low that we formed on the 17th of October. Yes, you could attempt it. I'm going to explain how you would attempt that level, because we could possibly create a wick here of $100 or $200, and that previous month high, which is this blue horizontal line. This isn't a perfect trade, right? Where you're just going to tap this level and get the epic bounce. Probably not. We probably won't get that. It might extend another $100, $150, and you can speculate trying to catch the bottom, but catching the bottom in this way that I'm going to explain is the safe way to do it to manage risk. Period, guys. That is it. It's the safe way to do it to manage risk. How? Well, basically hitting that previous month high and just looking at it on the lower time frames. 5 minute, 3 minute, right? It's a level. It's the previous month high. All of these levels that we've been talking about might not be a perfect level. It could hit the lows, right, from the 17th, right? I'm going to just put here 17th. Hang on a second. 17th, right? October. SFP, liquidity grab zone. It might slice through the level quickly. And, this is a zone where nobody wants to do anything, right? As in either jump in a short, like FOMOing the short on the drop, or doesn't want to get into a long, right? Because you're fearful from that drop and you're like, oh my goodness, falling knife, not catching a falling knife. Well, then you have these certain bounces, right, at certain levels, and you're like, wow, why did we bounce from that level so aggressively? I would never jumped into a long position in this area. What happened? Well, that's why we are actually creating the plan. Well, it's actually a monthly, the previous month highs. So we know that it could bounce and at the same time create that swing failure pattern, closing an hourly candle, right? It's the classic woof. You get the massive bounce, you close the hourly candle, it turns into just a massive wick and liquidity, and it possibly bounces exactly at the previous month highs, right? Basically the September highs. And if you haven't got these levels marked up on the chart, you don't know why the price bounced, right? You don't know why it exactly bounced at this level and it not, basically just got $10 beneath this level and then bounced. It actually dropped another $150 and then got the bounce. Well, we have the level here. If the price does bounce, we know why it bounced, because it tested previous month highs. How can I get into that trade? Right? To speculate, okay, maybe this has been, an aggressive third wave down and I'm looking for a fourth wave, right? Then we'll talk about this in 1 second. And please note, it could slice through the level, okay? It could just slice through. We're going to 66K. Never mind this previous month high and all of that nonsense. It might just slice through. But this is why we're ready with that plan. So let's just zoom in and give that brief explanation on, there's 2 scenarios here. There's actually 3, all right? I'm going to explain the 3 scenarios that could happen here in the next hour or 2, potentially. Scenario number 1. Price slices through the level, it dumps, and it just goes to 65, 64K tonight. Right? That's one scenario, and we'll just have to look for other levels to the downside. But first of all, let's talk about these internal ones. That's scenario number 1, and all of this that we've talked throughout the stream has been a bunch of nothing. One of those scenarios better be bullish, Anderson. Yeah, we're going to try to, at least to get a short-term bounce. So that's scenario number 1. I'll go through comment section now, legends, because I feel sorry. I'm just trying to give Gala God candle incoming. Hopefully, yes. Let's see. We can take a look at some altcoins later on. But I mainly trade Bitcoin. Altcoins, my goodness, especially on, well, even on, I've been... Sometimes just with $1,000, you're moving the altcoins on with leverage, guys. Just a few weeks back, I was scalping an altcoin, and just with $500 or $1,000 with a bit of leverage, 5-10x, you're moving the price because it's an illiquid, right? Stay cautious with altcoins, guys. You want to trade high liquid altcoins on the exchanges. When you're doing low liquid altcoins, you move the price with just a few $100 with a leverage, and you become liquidity, right? So you want to be cautious. You basically move the market. Always high liquid. This is why I focus mainly on Bitcoin. Anyway, going back to this scenario. Scenario number 1, slice through, nothing happens. Scenario number 2, right, is you get the reaction from the 17th of October lows, which is, just slightly below the 2.618. I'm happy to see the 2.618 from that move that we mentioned, all right, on the lower time frames. This scenario, for anybody that is joining, I'm happy to see that 2.618, broken a little bit to the downside. So that's scenario number 1. You get that reaction from the 17th of October lows. You hit it, you get that dead cat bounce. It might just form another lower high and it comes back down again. This is where we come to scenario number 2, right? This on scenario number 3. Scenario number 3 is that you get an epic dead cat bounce rally. Just, classic, right? That's what you usually get some of the times, right? It just gets that bounce of, $500, $600, $700, $800. Very, very nice. That's one scenario from that level. Scenario number 2, of course, you could hit this level or you could hit this one, but you get either a reaction from this one or a reaction from the monthly high, and then you just form another lower high here, all right? And then you create the double bottom. Double bottoms, I love them at these high confluence levels. It's the zone. Why would I attempt double bottoms here and not attempt double bottoms here? Just because of the lack of confluence that I haven't got here, right? Me personally, at least I haven't found it anyway throughout the stream. So I like the confluence that there is here. So here's a zone where I would be interested in, catching the double bottom, just because it's a solid level like I've been explaining throughout the stream. All right. And eventually, if scenario number 1 happens and we just break through, guys, then we'll just have to go to lower levels till we actually form a range. Now, let's talk about, okay, price is getting a bounce from here. Your levels haven't been hit, Andy, right? We're already bouncing several $100s. What's going on? What are the levels of resistance? What are the levels where we could get rejected? Well, just let's speculate that this has been the low. Right? We've had a very aggressive move down throughout the last few hours, and we get the bounce. We get some kind of bounce. I would love to see a 3-wave structure bounce. Okay? What do I mean? Well, something similar to this. That was a three-wave structure. We had bearish CVDs. You know, this was a great short. Back down to the lows. You know, maybe even hold some. So what I would want to see here is an initial bounce, a higher low, and another move to the upside. Once we get a three-wave move to the upside, maybe one of the scenarios is going to happen, guys. You just need to set the alerts and be ready to take action. You know, the plan is created here throughout the stream for a long or for a short. One of the scenarios is going to happen. Those levels are going to be hit in the next couple of hours, maybe. So we want to be ready, right? It's not like, you're talking about a level, you boring, you know. It's all about creating the plans. Trading is boring, I'm sorry. Trading is boring, it's not exciting. If it's exciting for you, then you have a situation, you have an emotional situation with money, and it's all about being very technical and getting ready for the plans, guys. So if you are, you know, if you think that trading is exciting, well, you better go to the casino. You know, casino is more exciting. Trading is technical, and you need to keep it professional, because if not, you know, you ain't gonna make gains consistently. So we got one plan that has been talked about. You want to manage risk, guys. You know, get the reaction, stop loss at the low, take the execution, take the profits. If you're already getting a 2-3 to 1, it's a scalp. We're looking for a dead cat bounce. It might recover. If it does, we can always have a little bit open. You get the deal. I explain this all the time. So looks like we're getting a bounce right now. A little bit of a reaction bounce. You know, this is the danger of trying to short, you know, as well as we've got the movement. You might get that relief pump, and now we need to analyze very, very carefully what I want to see, right? What I want to see. What is the plan that I am creating? So we're getting this first initial bounce by the looks of things, right? We're getting the first initial bounce here. Somebody was saying the 66,900 as a weekly naked point of control. Basically from this zone. Yeah, I mean, at least on Bybit, I have the high volume node all the way up here. But yeah, you know, possibly. Let me just quickly go through here. Just a lot of volume going on here. A lot of volume. Yeah, I mean, highest volume node is all the way up here. Anyway, going back to this, right? Now the question is, we're bouncing. Is this bullish? Are we going to rock it back to 60, 70K? Possibly. But anyway, yeah, for the moment, I have to believe that this is not an ABC just because of the extension to the downside. So I need to be taking a look at the resistance levels. If we are counting this as a three-wave move down, well, eventually, you know, we could be speculating on a fourth wave, and that low that has been created to be hit at some point. Where could this resistance be? Where could the top be? Where could it be? That's what I want to try and figure out here with you guys. So let's take a look at Fibonacci retracement from this top of the wave to the end of this wave, if it is the end, right? And eventually, what I want to see is preferably the 382 or the 50% for that wave 4. 236 would be too shallow. It is rare to just top out at the 236 and then roll down. It could happen eventually, but it would be, you know, a little bit rare. When I do take a look at this bounce, we're getting a bit of a kind of a small short squeeze right now. You know, this is the, you know, the danger of people, you know, jumping into shorts right now. We need to analyze the waves very, very carefully. We're creating a plan here. So we got this movement. Now we're getting the first initial bounce, so that's good. You know, we could speculate that this is the first dead cat bounce move, right? Will it go to 67.5, or will it top out here? What I want to see at some point is this topping out and forming a higher low, or it might claim the low and get a bounce. Especially if we top out here. This is going to be looking very nice, guys. Okay, this is how you come with the different plans. You know, the most important move is the next one. If we top out from here without hitting the 236, which we are just $100 away from hitting, which likely is going to be hit, but just, you know, this is how you come to the different ideas. If you top out from here and you claim the low, this is an insane double bottom, because, you know, this would be too shallow for a wave 4. Looking at the timing as well from the wave 2, it would be too shallow. So if it were to roll down from here, I would definitely speculate on a double bottom here locally to claim that high, because I would come to the conclusion of an ABC flat. Okay, because we haven't retraced, you know, kind of the minimum requirement, and it would be too fast for this to successfully move down. So, you know, this is a moment that I would already, if you start rolling down, speculate on this, and obviously speculate on this, right? You know, it's just like intraday level to level trading at the moment. So, but would be speculating on this to top out and roll back down. Just continue the downtrend momentum that we're forming. So, so if we roll down, claim the lows from the last couple of hours, I would be speculating on a double bottom. I would even speculate on the SFP from, you know, from this low locally, or even from this low that we mentioned, right? The original plan that was created throughout the beginning of the stream. And you would have to just come to the conclusion that, you know, hey, you know, this ain't a wave 4. You know, we're going to form a wave 5. You know, this is likely going to be a little bit of a range formation throughout the next coming hours between today and tomorrow, right? Maybe, or give or take 4, 5, 6 hours, right? Similar to this timing, preferably longer than this, right? Preferably longer in timing, right? We're just going to point that out very, very quickly. This bounce here to the upside, if this were to be that low, we already got an initial bounce. Yeah, I mean, you would want it at least. This would be to about 2-3 hours from now for it to be a 1-to-1, and wave 4s are usually longer. So on the other side, we don't claim the low. I would be interested in a double bottom here already with this initial dead cat bounce, right? We've got the levels, double bottom, or this one, to claim the high as a target zone. What happens if we form a higher low in the next hour and we get the next leg up? That's when we are looking at the extensions. That's when we're looking at the 236 Fibonacci. That is when we're starting to look for that potential wave 4. Okay. What I would want to see, obviously, hitting the 382 Fibonacci or the 50% is pretty aggressive bearish CVD divergence from these highs. So we'd have to zoom in here on the CVD, and we're actually getting some, you know, probably going to initially form some bullish CVD divergence for the bounce. But it would be nice, okay, at least from one of these pivots, either from this one or from this one, to start getting some. I think on the rest of exchanges we have a higher chance. Start forming some higher highs. Start forming some higher highs as the price is forming lower highs. Get bearish CVD divergence. That would be the, you know, the ideal scenario as we get up here to the 382 Fibonacci. Remember, we're speculating on this to be a wave 3. 382, 50% in between 67.7 and 68K. So I would like to see this might go to slightly higher levels, right? But I want to see that 3-waver. I want to see that kind of 3-waver to the upside. I want to start seeing the 1-to-1 extension from this move up to the higher low created, right? Potentially it will be 68K. It's going to be taking a bit of time. but I would be really speculating on that scenario. So I need the 1-to-1. I need some bearish CVDs. The 50% Fibonacci is at 68K. It might be the 382, but we were analyzing very, very carefully, and I will be looking for that potential short trade back down to the lows. So it's probably going to take some time. It would make sense to take some time. It would make sense to take a bit of time here to get that initial dead cat bounce formation. Maybe it's going to form that ABC flat scenario. It possibly could form that ABC. So this is kind of a movement that you want to take a look at as well. So, you know, coming all the way up to the 382. I would be interested in that scenario also. If it breaks down, it breaks down. We could speculate that we're still in that third wave, right? We ain't forming the fourth wave just yet. So that's a little bit of you know, the trading ideas, guys. I know it gets a little bit complex looking at the waves and Fibonacci and confluence. I wanted to take a look at the 382 and the 50%. If we do have a support resistance flip. Well, obviously the 50% is the golden one, right? Is the weekend lows. The 50% from here is the absolute golden area. I mean, if this starts getting some choppiness, and you know, you probably get a double top right there, you know, this would be the golden level. Would be the golden level to come back down. You got a support resistance flip. You got the speculation of a fourth wave, especially if you move like this. Right, if the price action moves up like this, yeah, I mean, obviously your invalidation is going to be, you know, potentially this, you know, the 618, the highs. You know, you don't want the price coming up to 68.5. Then obviously, you know, the whole idea of this being a fourth wave will be absolutely invalidated. You don't want the fourth wave to come all the way up here. It needs to top out at the 382 or 50%. So, you know, the whole trading idea here is stop loss at this range, you know, entry trigger zone, and you're targeting the lows and, you know, maybe even slightly lower levels. So, yeah, anyway, that's kind of the trading idea to manage risk on this scenario. Maybe a bear flag. Yeah. On the lower time frames. Yeah, without a doubt. I think it would make sense. You know, this is like this over here, maybe a bear flag. This is a kind of bear flag. We're just getting a little bit techie, right? You know, if you want to use basic, you know, understanding analysis, you know, bear flag right there, well, you know, potentially we form that kind of, you know, bearish flag here, if you wish, right? In a three wave move, boom, boom, you form a higher low, then you get the next leg up here, right? And you got a bit of a channel formation, and you get that resistance at the, you know, just slightly below 68K, support resistance flip, and then you get the breakdown, right? So it's the zone of interest. I remain patient. One scenario is going to happen. One of the levels are going to be hit regarding my trading plan that I would be looking at here. I'm going to set the alerts, obviously, in the next few hours. I will be going to bed, but you know, I would be interested in this area and this area. Okay, dead cat bounce level, to especially if it comes down from here, to claim the highs. It's a beautiful scalping scenario. Would speculate on an ABC flat, or form the three wave move and speculate on that movement down. Support resistance flip, 50% Fibonacci. Preferably we get some bearish CVDs. We get a lot of longs entering. And just look for the lows to be claimed. It's a day trade. It's a scalp. I hope some of you did enter that short position that was mentioned last week, guys. This happened at 3 o'clock in the morning, my time. Let me know in the down, Miguel. Yes, we are going down, my man. Sell your Bitcoin right away. Only joking. Only joking. No financial advice. Do as you wish. But let me know, guys, if you did manage to get into this short trade. And if you did not, let me know why. I didn't, because I was sleeping. It was at 3 a.m. my time, 4 a.m. I did have the alert. I had the alert set. And I just saw the alert this morning like, hey, missed out. I didn't wake up on the alert. Anyway, let me know if you did, guys. And if you are not trading already, make sure to check out Bluffing, guys. Bluffing is a no KYC platform. You have 10% cash back on your initial deposit. You deposit $2,000, you'll be getting $200 on top of that, so you can use for your trading. Check out Bluffing, guys. You do have the link down below in the description for Bluffing. 10% cash back right away, and it's no KYC. Just with an email and a password, you can start trading in minutes. Broke Beggars bull market. My man, can we take a look at Atom? Gave you DYDX last time. Yes, we're going to take a look at some altcoins, guys. The plans here for Bitcoin, we can take a look at some altcoins, but I'm, like I said, focused on Bitcoin. That's where I do most of my trading. Okay, I have to say over 90% of my trading is purely Bitcoin. And I missed that short position. Missed it, guys. I was asleep. Been ready all last week for that level to be hit. It made sense on higher time frame, right? We had contracting diagonal idea. We had the naked point of control. We had the 1.618 extension. We're just adding so much confluence to that damn level that I should have just put a limit short and put a stop loss at $71,000, right? But we don't do that just because we could be awake, right? We could get awake the next morning and we did not get the rejection from the level, and we woke up with the short trade being triggered, the stop loss being hit, and like this has happened to me before, because the main reason I don't do this because I don't know if a level is going to get the resistance or the support. I do not know. So this has happened to me before where I put a limit order. Yeah, I'm sure it's going to hold. I'll just put a far away stop loss and, I'll just get an average price, right? Even though with volatility, sometimes it works, but sometimes it doesn't. And when it doesn't, obviously you lose more than you're willing to lose. And if you put a tight stop loss, it's not going to be worth it because you might get a big wick, right? So you need that wick. You need to wait for it. You need to, check the rejection and get into the trade after you see the rejection. So this is why I don't put limit orders and a stop loss and go to sleep. It might work sometimes, but when it doesn't, you get stopped out, and you get stopped out with a 2-3 more than you're willing to lose, right? So it's just not worth it, guys. I'd rather say, guys, I missed the trade. I'll look for another trade throughout today or tomorrow, right? It doesn't matter. So anyway, I missed out as well, says Aditya, very early this morning. Make sure to destroy the like button, my legends. Okay, smash up the like. If you enjoy the education, guys, we're talking about the levels. We're talking about the trading plans. We're talking about how you supposed to be trading. Because then I had someone at the beginning of the comment section of today's live stream. I looked to enter in a long. I've been trying to long this dip, and it's like, no. It's like, no. Big no. Big falling knife. We are starting to see some, price is stopping here at the moment. Now is where we come with the ideas, right? We've been talking about many ideas throughout the stream. Major level, price has stopped. It's got a little bit of a relief. There's some different ideas. That's what we trade. You don't randomly, start trying to catch the drop, right? And you don't want to do that. Wait for the price to find a range, get some plans, get some levels. And this is what we've been doing because I didn't know about this drop. So then we come with the extension, the ideas, right? Because the next move is what creates your next plan. Anyway, let's go right away. Aditya saying he missed out as well because it was very, very early in the morning. That beautiful level of 69,500 that we've been talking about throughout last week for several days. So much confluence right there. Not only the naked point of control, the 1.618 extension, right? We just, very much recognize that was a good level. Anyway, a short on link similar to Bitcoin now, Andy. Let's take a look at Chainlink. Why not? I'm actually quite, I'm bullish higher time frame. I'm actually looking at some possible long scenarios on Chainlink with the legends, but still very far away from the level of interest. Possible short on Chainlink, similar to Bitcoin. Yeah, you could arguably discuss, yes. You could arguably discuss, yes, because let's take a look at the extension here, right? Speculating on the first initial wave down. 1-to-1 is what is holding here. Yeah, very much possible. Let's just keep it simple with Fibonacci. Yeah, okay, so, I mean, let's just keep it simple. We're not going to go too crazy here on Chainlink. We're just going to go straight to the possible point here. Yeah, we just go straight to the point locally regarding Elliott wave theory, right? If this has been a local high, there's two scenarios here. For the moment, we've got 3 waves. And, you know, the third wave has hit the 1.618 extension. You know, will it be an ABC very aggressively and we're going to moon here to the highs? Or will it be a third wave, right? And we're looking at the fourth wave most commonly to top out at the 382 50% Fibonacci. Well, the good thing about this is that we cannot overlap this pivot as a wave 1. And when we take a look at Fibonacci from the pivot high of this speculative wave 3, wave 3 is already, I mean, yeah, sorry, the 50% is already at these lows. So yeah, potentially not even 50% is going to be hit. Maybe 382. I like the idea. I like the idea of this short trade, and you would just have to have the invalidation above this pivot low. I mean, it would still be a relatively quick, a relatively big gap. But let's zoom in on the lower time frames to try and figure out, you know, the best level as a liquidity grab here, and analyze the internal waves that could happen. Yeah, I mean, it would be nice. It would be very nice if Chainlink right now, after this small dead cat bounce, forms a higher low right there and then does this, right, in the next couple of hours. This move will look very, very interesting coming to the 382 Fibonacci. I'll tell you what, I will even buy the possibility of sweeping up this lower high right there, which is slightly above the 382. The whole game plan, if this were to be an impulsive move to the downside, is that we cannot overlap this pivot at $11.80. So, I mean, this is your stop loss zone. You don't want the price to go all the way up there before it claims the low. So this is kind of your interest zone on Chainlink in a nutshell. This is like your interest zone. You can possibly kind of SFP this level, getting above 382, maybe hitting the 382, but then overall looking for that rollover to the lows again on that fifth wave, you know, potentially kind of double bottom, failed auction. But yeah, that would be the initial trading idea. Stop loss has to be here above this high, above 50%, above that low. I mean, ideally the 618, but you know, it's still going to be a pretty sharp stop loss. But 382 and this lower high right there would be the ideal zone to speculate on this movement on Chainlink in a 5-wave move down. So yeah, I like it. You know, you got the levels, you got the idea. This was very, very quick indeed. Just a quick. People don't like me doing analysis on altcoins. That like most of the people on my channel are here for Bitcoin. And when we take a look at altcoins analysis, they're like, no, I'm leaving. I don't want to. I don't care about your altcoin analysis. So bye bye when it goes down. For sure, I'm spot bag. I haven't sold. I've actually been buying. I haven't done. You know, I've got an altcoin portfolio which is pretty flat. It's pretty flat. It's at 345k right now. It's gone up to 347, so it's getting the bounce. It's had it, you know, it's gone down through this dip, but yeah, got an altcoin portfolio, which is, you know, I'm not selling anything, not selling anything of the altcoins. I've actually been buying throughout the last few days. Link is different, a lot of liquidity. Yeah, without a doubt. Link is a high cap, so a lot of liquidity. Terra is rising right now. USTC. Terra Luna. Terra Classic. Terra Luna. Let's take a look at that right away. Terra Luna. Remember, guys, I know a lot of people lost a lot of money, guys, with Terra Luna. I never got to buy Terra Luna on the previous cycle. This is bouncing a little bit. Terra Luna Classic. And what is the USDT or USTC? USTC. Terra Classic. Terra Classic US dollar. Well, that got a bit of a bounce. Yeah, but hey, come on, it's 2 cents. This supposedly is a stable coin, right? Wow. Imagine, and there was a lot of people that had their stable coin on Terra Luna, guys. This was devastating. This was devastating. Who remembers the Terra Luna collapse, guys? I mean, I'm not sure if you were here on in the bear market, but oh, this was all part of the bear market. Terra Luna, you know, absolutely failed project, massive scam, you would say. Then you had FTX collapse. Oh my, I missed those bear. That was real bear market sentiment, guys. We're in bull run. We are going to be hitting all-time high on Bitcoin before you know it. But oh, I mean, I've been here since 2018. And this for me was, hey, time to, luckily I did not heavily invest in Terra Luna. But I was buying Chainlink, buying some altcoins throughout 2022, 2023. It's a shopping time, guys. It's actually still been shopping time. We've still got some very great opportunities before things go bananas at some point, right, in the next coming months. There's still time to start dabbling into some altcoins, guys. But yeah, Terra Luna, my goodness, whoever had millions of dollars on their Terra Luna stable coin, ouch. This in a matter of what was it, about a week or so? Yeah, less than a week, it just went to a few cents. Terra Luna wasn't a scam, it was just a failure. Yeah, well, it was a failed project without a doubt. You have no idea how badly we are going to crash, says 𝗕𝗶𝘆𝗽. Possibly, yeah. I think we are gonna correct very, very aggressively. I think it is about time to really correct. Okay, for the moment, what makes more sense is getting a pretty decent corrective move like this. Something like this. I mean, how bad? Let me know. How bad? Let me know. Let me know in the comment section. How bad? Let me know in the comment section. How are we going to crash? I would like to know your opinion. Will Bitcoin... I'm actually going to ask a poll here. Start a poll. How far low? Let's go with, will Bitcoin, $29,000, says 𝗕𝗶𝘆𝗽. Wow, that is very bearish. That is very, very bearish. How, let's keep it simple. Will we drop below 50K? Will Bitcoin drop below 50K in the coming weeks? Right? Let's talk about that. Will Bitcoin drop below 50K in the coming weeks, guys? Let me know. I mean, this is like really getting bearish sentiment right now to the people. Will we drop below 50K in the coming weeks? We got that poll, guys. Let me know what's the sentiment. Are people flipping very bearish right now with this $2,000 drop? Right? Let me know. Will we go below 50K? I'm gonna say no. So it probably will, right? Let me know. Let me know. Almost 100 votes. We got 66% of people saying no. 35% of people saying yes. Still low, still low. We're going to get more people saying that once we go to 62K or maybe 58K. then we're going to get more people feeling a little bit more bearish, without a doubt. My bottom is 63 to 65K. It would make sense as well. I mean, looking at the different scenarios, for the moment, what makes more sense is that contracting diagonal. Okay, I mean, and this eventually brings a very steep pullback in the next coming weeks. It was not going to be looking good if this were to be the case, right? It will not look good. But it does make sense for that to happen, like higher time frame perspective, guys. I mean, this is only one scenario out of many. And another scenario would be if, I mean, this eventually being a very, very complex corrective structure here. If this were to be the low, I mean, you could say there is a kind of a triangle here. Obviously not counting this level, but you could, even though as this high is not taken, you know, you could still count a triangle formation here. And an A, B, C, D, E. And this has been the first wave one to the upside. I mean, it would make sense as well for $62,000, $63,000 to be a low and then price rockets. It would make sense. Yeah, because you could say that this is a WXY from here. You got a flat right there, running flat. And then you would say, you know, this could be a triangle and a Y. It could. A, B, C, D, E. And then this, the first wave here to the upside. And you eventually want to bottom out, you know, between 50% and the 7/8. So it's going to be interesting. I really, this is, you know, if we start consolidating in this area between 64 and 61K, we're going to be analyzing very carefully, because it could be an initial stage of wave one, wave two, bam, we're going to start getting into wave three, breaking all-time high by November, right? It would. This is just, there's so many different scenarios regarding the waves, and eventually the bearish case scenario, right, on a higher time frame is the top is in, we formed a massive A, B, now we're forming the C wave in a flat structure or in a running flat. It's going to, you know, bottom out at, you know, 29K, as you say. You know, hey, I mean, we look for day trading, scalping scenarios, right? If we drop, we drop. If we pump, we pump. We look for internal levels, guys. We look, you know, at different rejection points, as we do always. Like today, we've explained the possibility of the impulsive move down, looking at the levels. You know, if we do break down from here, guys, I have to say, well, let's wait for a range, right? Let's wait for a range formation. Let's wait for a level where it could consolidate and start, you know, forming a little bit of a range, and then analyze tomorrow, eventually with the Legends trading community, you know, some possible setups. But yeah, if it breaks down, it breaks down from this pivot. You know, we can't do anything about it. This will be another moon phases failed time. Wow, possibly yes. 72K next week, also possible. I have to say, also possible. I mean, if this were to be the end, you know, we get very, very bearish with just a little bit of a corrective structure. Guys, it was about time to actually correct. We're getting, you know, 𝗕𝗵𝗴𝗽. It's a big ABC on the weekly time frame to the math. Yeah, I guess this one that I pointed out, right? An ABC flat. Right over here, and that we have formed this ABC here, right? We've completed this ABC, right? This is you know, a scenario that you know, it's also possible, right? Why not? It could be. We formed a 3-waver here in the B. It would make sense. It's possible, but I don't think so. I don't think so. It makes more sense still that we are in bullish market structure. Okay, this is still bullish. This is the fourth wave in a very, very, very complex, and it would make sense for this to be more of a reaccumulation schematic, just because of the lower highs that we've formed, and the lows are being bought back up. They're being bought with wicks. In a distribution, you see the opposite. You see like a triple top, and you got the big players shorting at the highs. But when you form lower highs like this, yeah, it's more likely that it's a reaccumulation from the lows. It makes more sense. Okay, it's all looking at the probability understanding on this. So Shelby, my man, I'm very well. Hope you're doing absolutely fantastic as well, my man. Much love to you, brother. Boss Natoshi, thank me later. Dr. Greenwick, my man. Not going to go below 60 anymore, says Zevi yourself. Yeah, there is a bullish case, right? This is a very, very, very complex corrective structure, and there's many ways to count this. You know, you could even say that this is an expanding, which you could. Well, you could technically right now. I mean, we're looking at the next wave to see the possible invalidation, but you could count this as a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and you formed an A, B, C, D, E right there in a 1, 2, 3, right? Which would be extremely rare for this to be an impulse down and an expanding 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It would be extremely rare. Not only rare, extremely rare. It wouldn't be rare, it would be very, very rare. And also for this to be an A, B, C, D, E right there. And you've retraced all the way above the 0.88. Well, no, not really. My bad. You know, almost hitting this high just means that high is going to be taken at some point. So, yeah, no, not many fibs here from the high to the low. Anyway, this would be very rare to be impulsive to the downside. Moving averages. Let's get them out of the way. This would be very, very rare to be impulsive and this corrective. Raro, raro, raro. Raro, raro. So, anyway, Zevi is saying, Zevi Yosef, my fellow man here, is saying that we're not going to dip below 60k, and you know, there is a scenario that we probably won't, being this triangle structure. Not the most beautiful triangle, but it could be in a WXY right there. A, B, C, D, E, and this is the first initial wave, and we're going to form a higher low, you know, in between the 50% Fibonacci and the 7/8. I have to say it's a valid scenario. It could be possible. We're gonna have to be looking very carefully, you know, where the price ends up here. This is still very far away, but we'll be analyzing, you know, certain different scenarios if we do get down there. Thank you, 𝗵𝗏, for the best TA on YouTube as always. Wow, 𝗵𝗏, thank you very much for that kind comment. I'm not too sure if the best on YouTube, but you know, I try my best looking at several scenarios and levels and setups, and you know, try and give the explanations. Raro, raro, Andy Papucci. Bear trap, guys. Bear trap. Bear trap. We're forming a bear trap. I think it's just a corrective move. You know, and this corrective move could go deeper, right? There's nothing to be worried about. You know, we're going to start seeing the top is in for Bitcoin as we're going down, which is, you know, just a reset, guys. We've been we've been greedy, and everything's been going up pretty aggressively. Definitely, you are the best, bro. Tobin, wow, thank you very much. I wouldn't say, you know, I would never say that I'm the best, me personally. You know, I try to be good, and I try to give explanations on some scenarios and levels and setups. But I think it would look very cringy if I say I'm the best, guys. You know, I'm number one and all of that. It's like, you know, hey, you know, be humble, right? Just try and say, look, we talked about a level, right? This was last week. We did get the rejection. You know, that was pretty cool. Did you enter in short? Absolutely wonderful. It was a technical level, right? But, you know, never go with, you know, I'm the best. You know, it's just not nice. You know, be humble. Be humble. And always learning. I'm always learning myself. So there's always different scenarios, different ways of, you know, things that you missed, some things that you didn't miss. So we need to be humble, guys. So I would never say that I'm the best, but I try to. I would say I try to, but I would never say I am. Hi everyone, which crypto trading channel or person is best for social media? Love you, sir. Wow, there's many different ones. You know, you can get the opinions from the rest of the people here. Always honestly, TA, respect. Shelby, thank you very much, my brother. Okay, thank you very much. Those are kind words. I really do try my best. Sometimes we can get a bit cocky and but it's all about creating a bit of, you know, a bit of entertainment as well throughout the stream. 66666 we have here. Oh, we got a bit of a dip here right now on Bitcoin, guys. But yeah, what is the low? Will we go below $50,000 was the poll? And we have 69% of people saying no. 31% of people saying yes. So there's quite a bit. There is quite a bit people being bearish. We're getting the movement down now, guys. Interesting, guys, where we got rejected here. Interesting where we got this pullback. It was at the point of control, because we kind of lost the point of control of the entire range of since March, right? When we do zoom in here, guys, and we get the fixed volume profile, right? With this naked, the point of control, the highest volume node, at least on Bybit, it is sitting at $67,000, right? And we tried to get supported there. It got rejected here. Not that I would have shorted this, okay? We've created some plans throughout the beginning of the stream, guys. Make sure to check that out. We're going to try and timestamp it. Yes, Andy the best. Stop it. You're going to make me cry. I'm far away. 𝗕𝗏𝗽, I've even saying 𝗕𝗏𝗽 is absolutely nailing it. People in the community absolutely love 𝗕𝗏𝗽. He does live streams every day. And 𝗕𝗏𝗽 is, you know, he's very much loved. He's with the education. He provided a great setup today on 𝗖𝗿𝗆 based on a breakout and retest of the highs, which was also a good short, right, as we're taking profit, but because it double topped. But yeah, 𝗕𝗏𝗽 is absolutely crushing it. You know, very good with the analysis and understanding and risk management, guys. If you want to know more about 𝗕𝗏𝗽, go and check out 𝗕𝗏𝗽 Trading on YouTube. But if you want to see more of him daily and consistently, you want to join the Legends Trading community. That is where we do provide the education and the possible scenarios that could be happening today and also in the next coming days, looking at different trading plans. We also got Aiden as a coach providing setups. You want to join the Legends Trading community and see for yourself. I think it's great if you are starting. If you want to get more power, right? More education, ask questions from people such as myself and 𝗕𝗏𝗽 that we have experience, and also Aiden to provide you that education one-on-one. You want to join the Legends, and if you think it's a bunch of crap, you can always leave. But I want you to experience that without a doubt. Double bottom locally, yes. I think that it could create a double bottom. It could form an ABC flat here. It was explained throughout the stream that this could be initial 1, 2, 3, and we could form a flat structure here. This could be a scenario that could happen, that, you know, could happen in the next hour or two. Legends, thank you very much for joining today's live stream. We'll be back with more. The educational content is at the beginning of the stream. There's a bit of news here, but, you know, let's just go quickly through it. We have Tether, US dollar Tether surpasses 120 billion in market cap. So Tether going up, printing going up. Okay, we can see Tether going up on the market cap. So there's more Tether. It looks like gold ETFs 5 year to break. It took 5 years, okay, to break 20 billion inflow. Bitcoin did it in 10 months. All right, Bitcoin ETF inflow obviously surpassing gold's, but by a lot, guys. So, you know, Bitcoin is the digital gold, right? As we say. CME futures open interest hits all-time high with 12 billion. I'm a little bit skeptical on this. This could be either really bullish or really bearish, right? I have to say, this is not there's very, very mixed sentiment here. Open interest hits all-time high where we're currently at, and it could be bearish, or it could be bullish. One of my go-to indicators, says this individual on X, says the MVRV. I remember this indicator throughout the previous cycle. Momentum has flipped bullish again. And this is kind of like the 𝗫 cycle top indicator, which is one of those indicators that you check every month or every couple of months. And this indicator is pretty cool, but we've crossed the moving average here in the blue with the orange, and every time this has happened, we've had a major rally to the upside. We've already had a rally to the upside the last couple of weeks, and we could be pulling back, but this is a higher time frame indicator. Okay, check it out. MVRV, momentum, 100-day moving average, and every time we cross it, price gets very bullish for a few months after crossing that level. Something to pay attention, guys. You can check it out here and research this indicator. Payment company Stripe has bought stablecoin platform 𝗫 for $1.1 billion. This is the biggest acquisition in crypto so far. Stripe, guys, in the game, purchasing the platform 𝗫. Biggest purchase in crypto, 1.1 billion. Just in, Japan to cut Bitcoin and crypto taxes from 55% to 20% if the Democratic Party of the people wins in the election. Okay, maybe the Democrats are going to win then. I don't know. I'm not sure if there's enough people, right, in crypto to just vote the Democratic Party because of that. But anyway, something to point out there if you're Japanese. Legends, thank you very much for joining the stream. I don't want to bore you with the news. Thank you very much, guys. Oreo, everybody, take a look at the, possible scenarios and the levels, the trading plans, guys. Stay safe with your trading. Don't risk more than you're willing to lose. And if you're interested, you do have bluffing, guys. No KYC platform, 10% cash back on your initial deposit on bluffing, guys. Check it out. Down below, you have the link. It also supports the channel. It also gets you that great deal. Thank you, and I'll see you tomorrow.